Fusion Driving School QuickBooks Video 7, depositing checks from online services for the 6-hour defensive driving class. Ahem. The checks come in the mail, okay? And there's no need to record anything until they are actually deposited. Just don't lose them or mix them with other undeposited funds. Now, let's take a look at the main financial report before we actually record depositing a check from the 6-hour class. Notice that before we record a new transaction, the total income from the 6-hour defensive class is $1,050. Notice also that the company bank account before we record our next transaction is only $717. Okay? Obviously, when we deposit money from the online service, the company bank account increases. Okay? This transaction also increases the income from 6-hour defensive class. So again, looking at the main financial report, the income commission from the 6-hour defensive class should go up every time we deposit money from the online service. And of course, the company bank account always goes up when we make a deposit. Now, let's take a look at an example transaction. Okay? Let us imagine that on October 3rd, we received a $1,000 check from the online service for the 6-hour defensive classes that they give, and this is the check number 4567. Now, before we record this transaction, can we predict what the numbers will change to in the main financial report? Well, if we received the check and deposited it into the company bank account, the company bank account will increase by $1,000 and become $1,717. If the reason we got the money was because it came in from commissions for the 6-hour defensive class, this total should go up to $2,000. Now let's take a look at the transaction. From the icon bar, click Deposit. Notice that the Make Deposit window is behind the other window, Payments to Deposit. Be careful. This window, Payments to Deposit, are payments from students who have taken the 5-hour pre-licensing class or taken actual car driving classes. These are not payments from the online service. So when you are depositing money specifically from the online service, not one of the students you have a contract with, you have to close the list of payments to deposit and don't confuse the check from the online service with other undeposited funds listed here that came from actual students. So we will close this payments to deposit window and reveal the window behind it, Make a Deposit. You must make sure you're depositing it into the correct bank account, and all the other information should be written on the source document, which is the deposit slip. Choose October 3rd as the date on the deposit slip, which was the date that you actually deposited it. It was received from. Click once in the corner to bring the arrow, then click on the arrow to choose the online service that you received the money from. The From account here means the reason for the deposit or the income account associated with the deposit to this bank account. Click once to bring the arrow, click on the arrow to get your chart of accounts. The reason you are depositing this is because you have income from the 6-hour defensive class. That's the account. Click in the check number field, and if we go back to the previous document, it was check number 4567, I believe. Okay, so I believe that should be the check number we put in here, and the amount is $1,000. And of course, it might help by claiming the payment method is the check. So now we have the what, the when, the who, the why, and the how much. And when we click Save and Close, the results should be as we predicted. Yes, the company bank account has gone up to $1,717, and the income from commissions for the 6-hour defensive